Man-eating leopard of Yellagiri Hills. Dear friends, this is the story of the man-eating leopard of Yellagiri Hills. The Yellagiri Hills are a range of hills in the state of Tamil Nadu, India. They are home to a variety of wildlife, including leopards. In the 1940s, there was a man-eating leopard that terrorized the villages in the Yellagiri Hills. The leopard was a huge male, with a black coat and yellow eyes. It was said to be able to leap great distances and to move with the speed of a shadow. It had killed many people, including children and women. The villagers were terrified of the leopard. They would not go into the forest after dark and they would sleep in groups for safety. The government offered a reward for the leopard's death, but no one was brave enough to hunt it. Friends, you know that leopards are nocturnal, most active at dusk and tend to hunt in the evenings and early mornings, another reason why they are not often seen. Adults are generally solitary animals with the males and females only coming into contact with one another to mate. Leopards are carnivores and hunt small antelopes, warthogs, hyraxes and monkeys/baboons. Their diet also includes birds and reptiles. They store their kill up trees to keep it safe from lions and hyenas. Their habitat is wide and they can be seen in semi-arid land, scrubland, bush, savannas, mountain lowland rainforests, riverine forest and rocky outcrops. They like to sun themselves on termite mounds or rocky outcrops. Male leopards are larger than females, weighing up to 130 to 200 pounds, whilst females weigh between 75 and 88 pounds. They grow up to 2.3 meters long at stand, approximate 28 inches at the shoulder for adults. Generally, they live for 15 to 20 years in the wild. Leopards breed all year round, and can have between 2 to 6 cubs. The females will raise the cubs by themselves. The gestation period is anything from 90 to 112 days, and they will become independent adults at between 18 to 22 months. Leopard cubs are kept hidden for the first couple of months, and at about 4 months old the mother starts to train the cubs to hunt small animals. Now, come to the story. The leopard of the Yellagiri Hills was a man-eating leopard which claimed 3 victims in the vicinity of the Yellagiris, a crescent formation of hills east of the Jallarpet Junction Railway on the Southern Railway. It was killed by Kenneth Anderson, who described it as thus. The leopard originally limited itself to killing the cows of a herdsman named Nathan, who over a 3-month period, lost 4 of his animals to the beast. 2 other herdsmen in his village lost a couple each. When the monsoon season arrived, the cattle were transferred into the village itself. The leopard followed the herds, but was driven out by the herdsmen every time, until one day, hunger drove it to kill a cow in front of 2 men. The leopard refused to be intimidated, and frightened off the herdsmen with loud growls. The villagers enlisted the help of a forester named Ramu, who at first hesitated to take on the assignment due to his lack of experience in hunting carnivores. He soon conceded and a day later, requested that a goat bait be tethered near a banyan tree close to where the leopard usually frequented. With the help of some villagers, he built a machan on the tree, and stood watch. 2 hours later, at 6 p.m., the leopard took the bait. Ramu fired his single-barreled .12 bore shotgun, which had been loaded with L.G cartridges, at the leopard. The leopard retreated into the jungle, and though it left a blood trail, the animal itself was not found the following morning. First hunt for the leopard. 2 months later, in the same area, the leopard mauled a 16-year-old boy, who managed to fight off the animal with a stick. 3 weeks later, the leopard killed a goatherd who had launched himself on the animal in defense of his flock. The next morning, a search party of 30 villagers armed with clubs and staves went in search of the goatherd and found his half-eaten body under heavy brush, 100 yards from where there could be clearly seen splashes of blood and leopard pug marks. Kenneth Anderson was informed by the villagers of the death a few days later. Anderson accepted, even though he was armed with 1.12 bore shotgun loaded with only 2 L.G cartridges. Anderson asked the local patel for a goat, and a small kid was purchased from a neighboring hamlet. With the help of the villagers, Anderson constructed a machan with the wood from a nearby jackfruit tree, and tethered the kid 20 feet away. The panther never came, and by 9:15 p.m. Anderson gave up the vigil. He tried again unsuccessfully for 3 days, and later, returned to his home in Bangalore, instructing the Patel to inform him should the leopard attack again. Second hunt for the leopard. 7 weeks later, a mail carrier at Jallarpet disappeared, and a subsequent search in the nearby hills resulted in the discovery of his spear and later, his body. Anderson left Bangalore, this time fully equipped with a .405 Winchester. The villagers informed him that a leopard had been sighted regularly on a hill named Periamalai, English, Big Hill, 3 miles east to the village and 5 miles from where the carrier had been killed. After selecting a spot near where the leopard was last sighted, Anderson returned to the village in order to procure a bait. This time, he chose a donkey, because unlike a goat which would have been completely devoured in one sitting, the donkey was large enough to warrant the leopard returning after its first meal. 3 donkeys were purchased, one was tethered on the site of the mail carrier's death, the other 2 on the village outskirts. The donkeys remained untouched for several days, until one night, the donkey at the mail carrier's death site was killed and eaten. Anderson and some villagers rushed to the site and constructed a well-camouflaged machan near the body. Anderson waited, and at nightfall, he heard the breathing of the leopard near the carcass. Preferring to wait until the animal had settled down on its kill, Anderson did not open fire. Nothing happened, and by 9 p.m., Anderson heard the leopard growling. Having somehow become aware of Anderson's presence, the leopard growled loudly for a few moments, before charging at the machan. Anderson fired at the leopard, but the shot was deflected by a tree branch. The leopard ran into the brush, and did not return. Morning revealed that the donkey carcass had been untouched and there was no indication that Anderson's shots had injured the leopard. Anderson returned to Bangalore after instructing the villagers to inform him should another attack take place. Third hunt for the leopard. Nearly 4 months later, Anderson received a telegram from the village Patel stating that the leopard had claimed another victim. He arrived at the Patel's village at 7:15 in the morning, and was told that the victim had been a young woman collecting water in a stream running past the base of the Periamalai hill 3 days prior. Anderson purchased a goat from a nearby village. Anderson was not overly pleased with the bait, as it was an old animal which rarely vocalized, and it was purely black, a color not present in the leopard's natural prey, thus increasing the possibility of arousing the leopard's suspicion. Arriving at the site of the last kill, Anderson tied the goat close to the stream, and hid himself in a lantana bush. The night proved fruitless, due to the fact that the goat fell asleep and did not cry out. Death and post-mortem. Anderson grudgingly led the goat back to the village the next morning, and with the help of the Patel, bought a half-grown goat more likely to call out at night, thus increasing the chances of attracting the leopard. Tethering the goat at the same place as before, Anderson waited throughout the night until at 6 p.m., he heard the leopard approach. A few moments later, the leopard emitted a hiss, revealing that it was aware of Anderson's presence. Switching on his torch, Anderson saw the leopard 10 feet away from him. He fired his .405 Winchester twice, hitting its throat and chest. The next morning, the leopard's body was found dead. It was described as an old male, with a somewhat scraggy and pale coat. He showed every sign of being the man-eater, for his canine teeth were worn down with old age and his claws were blunt and frayed. Friends, I will come with next such an interesting and thrilling stories. Till then, be happy and take care. Please also like and subscribe my channel.